Hi there, this is Mar Haddad here. So in this first lecture, we have to do the initial setup of the UDM Pro. But before we speak about how to do the initial setup of the UDM Pro, we have to understand what is UDM Pro and why it's important to use it in our network and what features this can provide to us. So all those things I'm going to show to you in this lecture. So we have to first understand what is the UDM Pro and why we see a lot of people nowadays are going to buy that product, and why also Ubiquiti asks us to use that product. So I'll show you all the details about that product, and I will show you also the comparison between this product and some other products. Then we will start doing the initial setup to make the first setup on the UDM Pro. So let's go directly now to see what is the UDM Pro and why is it an important appliance to use. So if we go to the Ubiquiti website, ui.com, from here we can go to the Unify OS consoles. So you might come and say to me, but UDM Pro, is it a router or a console or what it is exactly? So UDM Pro is, look here, a security gateway, means a router. It is a managed switch. It is also having advanced redundancy, but it is also an operating system console. So that means what? You know that once you want to deploy a unified network, you need to have an console or operating system console where the Unify OS, which is the operating system, is being installed. So normally, a lot of people, what they do, they just take the key, UCK, which is the key, they use it, which is Unified Control Key, or they can put the controller on a cloud, or also there is some other, now the newest one, let me show it to you here, if we can find it, this one, the cloud, the key generation number 2, and the plus. So those are all what we call them the console. So that means where the operating system of the Unify is being installed and where all the hardware of Unify will be adopted from that controller, and then you can do all the configuration from there. So that means if you have UDM Pro, it has already Unify OS on it. So it can be the controller for you. That means if you have customers, you put for them the router, which is UDM Pro, then you have the controller there. The router, which is UDM Pro, is also doing routing, doing firewalling, doing switching, because it has also switch capability. So yeah, it's doing almost everything you need. Then yeah, why should you not go to the UDM Pro? Now, let's check now about the UDM Pro, how it looks. So first of all, you see that this is the price if you look at it on the Ubiquiti website. So it's $379 US, not very expensive. And let's have a look now what has as a feature. So here they put for you the difference between the Unified Dream Machine Pro, which is UDM Pro, we call it, and the Unified Security Gateway and Unified Security Gateway Pro. So you look at the bandwidth. The Unified Dream Machine Pro can give you up to 3.5 gigabit per second, while the others, they are much less. Now, what this UDM Pro has as application, because you know that the controller or the Unify OS is the operating system, but on this operating system there are applications. So those applications are network, the protect, access, and talk. So Unify Network, Unify Protect, Unify Access, and Unify Talk. Those are applications that you can use them. So for network, in case you want to do firewalling, you want to do putting access points, for example, you need the network. Protect is if you are doing surveillance, so you are putting cameras, you need protect. Access is someone, for example, want to get to the door to put the code, then you need to use the access application. Talk is for the Unify phones. Now, this UDM Pro get all those 4 applications. You will see in a moment that if we compare it to the Dream Machine, for example, the Dream Machine didn't have more than the network application. While UDM Pro, you can have all the 4 applications that are provided by Ubiquiti. Now, if we look down, we go down here, there is a very nice picture they show you. So look at here. This is the UDM Pro. It's connected to a switch, which is USW switch. Now, of course, UDM Pro has switching capability. You can see those ports are switching port, but the problem that they are not PoE, so they cannot provide power over Ethernet. That's the problem that is on the UDM Pro. That's why you require to have a switch to have a PoE, especially if you want to connect to with access points and cameras. But look, you can put cameras, access point, and you can also computers through Ethernet. You can provide Wi-Fi, so everything can be done with the UDM Pro. Now, if we scroll down over here, and this is a very nice comparison to show you, let's say here they're saying which Unify OS console is right for you. So if we go for the Dream Machine Professional, you can see that what features we have here. So you can see that most of the features that are here are on the UDM Pro. So like security gateway, here is yes. Dream Machine also yes. The cloud key generation 2, no. Firewalling, yes. Look at here, the Unify operating system application. It has all of them. While the Dream Machine, it has only the network application. And this one has all of them. It doesn't have built-in Wi-Fi access point. It has a touch screen display and also Unify Smart Power. Then you have also here what's called the hard disk expansion bay. So HDD. That means what? If you want, for example, to use it for surveillance, then you need to record those videos that are the camera giving it to you. So that means you need to have space, and to have this space, you need the hard disk. So we can plug hard disk inside the UDM Pro. I'm going to show it to you in a moment when we go to the router itself. So we can see the WAN. It has one 10 gigabit SFP plus, so that's a fiber port, and one RG45 port. That is the power, how much it consumed. That is the dimension, and that is how much the weight it is. So you can see a very nice appliance. So as a summary, UDM Pro is a Unify console which has the Unify operating system on it. It can support the 4 application. It is a router. It is a switch at the same time, and it has all those features that we have seen it over here. So now, as we know, what is the UDM Pro? Let me show you now on my router. So I'm gonna show you with a video about how it looks and how it is my router connected now, and then we have to start doing the lab. So this is my UDM Pro over here. You can see it has a touch screen here, and this is the hard disk expansion that I told you about. If we open it and if we move it out, you see here you can put a hard disk. I have already put one hard disk here, HDD. So there, this is needed if we want to use the Unify Protect for the cameras to record the videos. So it's very easy. You just plug it and put it there. And from here, you can see this is the WAN port, the RG45. This is the SFP. So what I'm doing now is I'm just connecting the WAN interface to the internet, and I'm connecting here. That is going to my computer. And now we need to start doing the setup to see how to connect the Unify and to start using it. Point number 1, compare the different Unify OS consoles. And I have already done that. So we have compared it. We have seen that the UDM Pro is really much better. Now, log into the UDM Pro and do the initial setup. Before we do that, let me show you how my network is connected now. So this is my network. The one which is in the middle is the UDM Pro. It is connected on the WAN interface to the internet. And this internet here, there is a router providing the HTTP IP addresses. So that means this will get the HTTP client IP address. And then from here, I'm connected to the interface port 1 to the LAN. So the first thing to remember that the UDM Pro has an IP of 192.168.1.1. Always remember that. So once you have the router from the factory, then you just plug it. Then it has an IP 192.168.1.1. That means if you want to connect to it, you have to put an IP from the same range. So you can put 192.168.1.2. Now, it's not very important that you put the IP here, because if you have DHCP enabled on your computer, then this router would provide him an IP of 192.168.1. something. All right, so let's now turn on my UDM Pro and see how we have to set it up. So I have powered on the UDM Pro appliance. Let's go to the IP 192.168.1.1. Before we do that, let me show you that my computer has already received this IP 192.168.1.134. So if we make now ping to 192.168.1.1, it has reachability to the router. So we go to it and we make enter. So here is the UDM Pro. Very nice presentation, they made it. And now we have to start doing the initial setup. First, you need to give it the name. So I will say here UDM Pro course. And then I will say here agree, and then we say next. Now, the second step is to put your UI, Ubiquiti, the account over here. Very important to remember that you cannot log into the UDM Pro if you don't have an account on the Ubiquiti, because to connect to UDM Pro by default is from the cloud. So that means you need to have a Ubiquiti account. All right. Of course, we'll see later that we can make also a local user to connect to the UDM Pro locally and not from the cloud. Because some people will say, why should I connect from the cloud? Maybe it's not secure. Yeah, I understand that. But the first login, you need to connect to the UDM Pro from the cloud. So I'm going to put my account here and log into it. So after I logged in, of course, also it has asked for the two-factor authentication. You should have it also on your phone so you can log in to your account. Now the step number 3 is asking for the update schedule. So when do you want for this UDM Pro to be updated automatically? Of course, you can say that, for example, daily at 3 a.m. so at night, so it will update. But I prefer always to say disabled, because if I ever want to make the update, I can make it myself manually. Then in case someone is using the network and it makes the update, then he will lose the connectivity. So I will say disabled for now. And then next. Now they ask you here about the configuration. Do you want to make auto optimization? So that means what? That Unify will detect automatically the set the most commonly missed by vital settings to improve Wi-Fi and network performance. That's fine. And over here, if you want to send the diagnostics to the Ubiquiti, then I will leave the same as it is now, and then I will say next. Now let's start doing the test to see how much internet you have. So you see, this is my internet that I have at this moment. It's a bit low because I have divided my internet, so I don't have more than this bandwidth for my office, so my family can use the internet easily also. So here it makes the test for the internet for the download and upload. So we wait for this to be finished, and over here it says to you, this is your bandwidth, 18 by 22. Do you want to adjust it? You can put whatever you want. So let's make it something like this, 20. Of course, you can leave it as it was. That's not a problem. And then you make next. And now that is here the information. Of course, we should change the location, and the time zone is okay, but the location is not correct. We will change it later. And then I will say here, finish. So now, believe it or not, you have made the initial setup on the Unify UDM Pro. Point number 2 is done. Point number 3, check if the Unify OS and the applications, which are the 4 applications that we have seen them, need updates, and update them. Let's first go to, so this is the 192.168.1.1. Then I have to say advanced over here and accept the risk and continue. So I have to log in again. Let me log in. So here we are now, and this is saying how we'd like to rate. Okay, I will give it 5 stars. And this is a nice product. All right, so we submit. Very good. So now what you see over here is the 4 applications that I told you about: the network, the protect, the access, and the talk. Now we can first check about the appliance itself, so about the Unify OS, the console. So we have the settings and we have the users. By the way, in case you are anywhere, you can just click on that one, and then this takes you back to this level. Alright, so let's go first about check the settings. So we go to settings, and here you can see the settings about the UDM Pro. So the owner, and here you can see there is an update available. So I'm gonna do it in a moment offline just to win the time. Here you can see the temperature and the memory, the CPU, the The CPU load, also you see it over here. Here the hardware, so the processor, what processor you have. So ARM 64-bit 4-core. This is the memory, and here you have the internal storage, and this is the disk storage. So this is my hard disk that I have put it. Now we go to the applications. So here are the applications. The network is being fully updated. We have to update the Protect because we are going to use Protect also for this course. Access and Talk, I'm not gonna use them in this course, so I'm not gonna do any update for them. And then the location over here. So here they say, okay, allow us to know where is your place. So I'll just allow it. And over here we have to put Europe, Amsterdam. So this is the time. And let's just do save. I'm not sure if this is the right location of where I am. Let's have a look. Not really. This is not my right location, I guess so. Let's have a look. No, this is not. But anyway, so it's very close to where I'm based, but it's okay. I will say now save, confirm changes. And now if we go to the advanced over here, this is very, very, very important. SSH, secure shell. So the secure shell is to be able to connect to the UDM remotely using the command line. And sometimes, because if you do some updates and it doesn't work, you need to revert back, then you can't anymore access to the graphical user interface, then you need to have SSH enabled so you can log in via SSH and do some changes. So I will enable it. Now it will ask you to put the password, so I'm gonna use let's use some password, maybe the one that this has given to us, and then I will say here confirm. So this is SSH enabled. Now also over here you have the remote access. That means what? In case you want to be able to reach to this UDM Pro remotely from anywhere using unify.ui.com, you can do that. So you can log into it remotely from anywhere. If you don't want that, if you want to just log into it locally, then you have to make this one, check it, and to make it disabled. But before you do that, very important, you have to create a user for local access, because the username and password that you have from the cloud is only to allow you to connect to it remotely. But if you want to connect to it locally, that means from your LAN, then in this case you have to create a user to be local. I'm gonna do it in a moment, but here you can change the name if you want. That is the automatic firmware updates. Here where you can do the restart, power off, factory reset, download support file if you want to send it to the support of Ubiquiti. And yeah, that's it. That's all what you need to do. Now let me show you how you can create the user locally. So from here we have to go back to the local portal, and from here we have to go to users. And you can see this is the account that I have, which is active, and this is for the cloud. So from here we have to go to add admin, and then from here add admin. Employee ID, it's not important here, over here. Just put here, I want to use this one to be super admin. And then we have to say local access only. You see, local access only. Then over here now you can put the username and password, the first name and the last name. So let's do, for example, test. Employee ID, we don't do anything. So this is super admin. A local username, let's make it test. Password test 123, for example. All right. And then I will say here add. So it's local access only. Very good. So now you have it over there. So if you want now, you can switch off the remote access so you can connect to that one only locally. But again, if you have a problem and you want to reach it, if you are not locally in the LAN, then you cannot reach it. So it's very important to remember that. Point number 3 is done. So I have already made the updates for the applications. They are all fully updated now. And I have updated also the Unify OS, so I have done that offline to win time. And point number 4 also is done. We have made the SSH enabled and we have created a local user. So in case you want to connect to the Unify Dream Machine Pro, then we can also connect to it locally from the user that I have created. So this is the first lecture on this course, speaking about how to do the initial setup, but also we have gone through all the process about what is the UDM Pro, and we have compared it to other appliances, and we have seen what is the benefit to use the UDM Pro. So I hope that this lecture was informative for you, and I'll see you in the upcoming lecture.